Hey everyone, in this Fortnite Creative how to add buildings video, I want to show you exactly that. So once you're on your island here, and if you're not here already, have a little look at my other tutorials, but you access the island settings with the button, whatever it shows on the left-hand side. So for me, it's the touchpad on the PlayStation. If I press that, I come into this area here where we've got island settings, but more importantly, content is what we're looking for when we're creating buildings. Now, there are two main ways to create buildings in the game. So you can either use prefabs or the galleries to basically find lots of walls and things to manually create a building, or a mixture of the two. So we'll have a little look at prefabs first and explain what this is. So we've got all these buildings here, and up the top left hand side of this sort of central area, you can see it says 413 items. So that's how many we can mess around with, all these different buildings here, and you can go through these, and some are more detailed than others. So there's some that I think are particularly nice. So if we go all the way down, we will find one such one. I'm just trying to think what on earth it was called. What I should say is you can also sort this either with the default on the top left there, or you can go A to Z there and just see these all here. I think there's some like swampy ones. These are the ones I'm looking for, the wood shanties. So these work like this. You can either open them up here. So I'm pressing square to open them up, down the bottom in the middle. And then I have access to all the bits that construct this wood shanty dock shed. So if I want to build this bit by bit, I can use these. Or if I go back down the bottom right hand side, the circle button, I can equip this to my hot slot and then place multiple ones of these at go. So the way this works is select the one that you're interested in and sort of selecting the entire building. And then down the bottom, you see it says equip X. So I'll press that, and then it brings my quick bar up, and then I simply press whatever button I want to assign this to. So if I press up on the D-pad, it'll sit there. Now I'm also going to access a couple more while we're here. So I'm moving the D-pad over, and I'll grab this one, and we'll equip this. So we'll equip this to down. And just for practice, I'll just show you if we wanted to use just part of one of these. So let's say this one here, but I want to use just part of this prefab. So we'll open this, and we'll have a little look at this here. So we've got all these different bits. So let's say I just wanted, say, a wall. So we'll equip this as well. So we'll press this and the triangle. One thing that changes with these is you can actually place one of these straight now if you want without equipping it. So you can see we've got place now, which we'll do for practice. If I press, or rather hold down square, you can see that's then added that I can place this in the area here. Now, if I want to get rid of that, I simply choose exit on the left-hand side, the circle button to exit it. So if I want to use any of these prefabs that I've put into the kind of like this hot slot, you can see down the bottom left-hand side, we can flick between the phone, which has got access to these, with the triangle button down the bottom left-hand side. And then I also need to hold down L2, like it says, hold that down, and then you get access to all of these that are in these little hot slots. So when I build the first building, I press up on the D-pad while I'm holding down L2. And then I've got this area here where it's a little hard to see because I'm right up close. So if I hit circle again, just get rid of that for a sec, where it can make a lot more sense is if you fly first. So on the left-hand side, if you press the X button, double press that, and then you'll start flying, then hold down X or whatever buttons it shows. If you need more help with this, have a little look at my other tutorials, because I've got one on the flight mode and how it works. But when we're up in the air like this, if we now hold and press that again, you can see it's a lot easier to see where this building is going to be. Now, as far as I'm aware, there's no simple way to rotate so that the building exactly where you want it, which is a bit of a shame. But what you can do is if you fly around, you'll see the building moves as you move the right stick around. So you can kind of rotate that way. You could still use your flight controls if you remember them. So X is flying up, but L1, R1 don't actually rotate the building, which would be useful. So if we want to paste this in this area, on the left-hand side, we press the R2 button. And you can see now that a building has been added there. And you can see this kind of rotate thing now sort of doesn't work quite as well as it did before. It kind of holds it in line even though I'm flying around, because we've placed a building already. And it seems to rotate slightly if I come out of here and then I do it again and then press that same one again. I forgot which one we did there. Was it the first one? So you'll get some sort of rotation around here, kind of like how it worked before. So it's kind of a bit of a mix and match on how to assign these correctly or rotate them around exactly how you want them. So if we come back down, your other option is we had that single piece that we could add, so L2 and triangle, and then I could apply this to the area like we've got here. And then this gets a little more confusing in terms of the way things are dropped. So if you've got on the left hand side, drops on means if that's on with the triangle, you see it there. If I paste it here, it will drop to the floor automatically like we see there. But if I turn drops off by pressing the triangle button and then look up in the air and then press it here, it will float in the air like so. The other thing you can have are things like snapping, so you can snap walls together, which will sometimes work all right and sometimes not, depending on what you're trying to snap. But you can change the snap mode with the grid snap, so you've got 8, 4, 2, and 1 and off. So that might help you, connect things together, but it is quite hard work to do. So, but in terms of this gallery, if we wanted to access the entire gallery, another way we could work is if we press the screens button and go to content again, and then just come out of here and have a little look at the galleries. So we've got these galleries here with all these things. So if you decide, I don't know, let's say, let's see what we've got at the end of here. So this is sort of the same sort of way. There's the wood shanty. So you see we've got roof galleries and wall galleries and all of these. Another option you can work on is either open this up and find the exact one that you want, or you can say, actually, I want to use the whole lot of this. So if I equip this, so I'm using X to equip and I put it in the circle this time. What I can now do if I fly up is if we do this, we'll get the entire gallery here, paste it, and then what this enables me to do is see, all of these things in the area here. That's great. We've gone to nighttime, very useful game, but we can pick whatever one of these that we think is of interest. So let's have a little look at one of these. So if we go for, I don't know, say that one there, we can use the actually, let me just change the islet settings just so we can see a little bit better. World, ambience, time of day. I wanted midday. Let's do that, and then hopefully, there we go. We can see again. So now we want to pick one of these. What we can do is if I turn my phone on. So I'm using the triangle button for that. Then I can highlight any of these and then copy them or cut them. So if you're going to use lots of the same one, you'd copy it. So for me on the left hand side, there's R2. And then that's going to give me a copy of that. And then I could say, right, I'm going to start building over here. I want the drop to the floor on. So I'll press the triangle and I'll just drop that down there. Whoops, and just fly up a little bit so I can see what I'm doing. I can then rotate this if I want. So you see R1 is rotating clockwise, and then think about how I'm going to try and connect these together or sort of build something this way. But you're going to have to mess around with snapping. I will probably do that more in a separate tutorial just to try and make that a little easier, because frankly I need to play with it myself. Now if you mess up like I did there, if you just circle or what back out of there, turn your phone back on with triangle, and then on the left hand side when you're hovering over something, you see you've got the delete command. So we press the left D-pad to delete stuff, or we can select stuff with the right on the D-pad, and then we can choose to cut it and move that around if we decide we made it an error there. So we could just move it this way and then paste it back where we wanted. Again, just like we did with the gallery, you could copy stuff. So you can say, actually I want another one of these. I'm just going to fly up so I can see a little bit better, and then just drop them as wherever I want. So there are various different options to do that. One thing I just want to do before we finish off on the buildings though is talk about if you mess up with the buildings. One of the frustrating things is if we go to this building here, as far as I'm aware, there's no way to select all of the building in one hit. So if you mess up placing a building like this, it's a bit of a pain to get rid of it, because you've got to select stuff and you can hold down select like so. So I'm holding right on the D-pad and then delete stuff. Whoops, sorry, I've hit the wrong button. Delete stuff like this and it'll delete, hold it down, sorry, left stick, hold down. Sorry, left D-pad, and then you've got to manually delete it like this. So I'll do the same thing in here, but you can see it's a bit of a pain, so I'd love a sort of a bigger selection mode to do this. It's not too bad, but it depends on the building that you've built, how to delete this. Now if you've gone at crackers and you've just chucked loads of stuff in here and you think, actually I've messed that whole thing up, what you could do is if you press the screens button, there is a way to restart the entire sort of island. And that's here in the overview. Whoops. So you can go, oops, hang on, overview, and then reset island to original state. So if you do that, it'll say, do you want to do that? It's going to do this, and you say confirm. And then what that'll do is take you back to this area. And when you jump back in, you will see that your island is reset back to the original state. So you may or you may not want to do that. That's entirely up to you. But hopefully by now you know how to build buildings in the game, and I hope that was of use to you. If it was, give us a thumbs up, please. That's much appreciated. Any comments welcome. If you need more help with the game, do let me know with what. I'll do my best to help you in a future video tutorial. Thanks for watching.